Wonder Man was a surprisingly fun show. After watching it, I was actually really hoping that there would be a season 2 someday. I didn't expect much from it because unless if it's a known character, they don't often get a season 2, and even at that, if they are a known character, they often don't get a season 2. So I wasn't putting high hopes on them making a season 2 for Wonder Man, but I am surprised, but it's a happy surprise that they announced season 2 is in the works. I wonder what will be happening in season 2, and I hope that in today's video I can kind of go through my thoughts. And obviously this video is coming out late, I'm sorry about that, but I just found this out a couple of days ago, so I'm making this video, so hopefully this video will come out in a week. So we left off with Simon finishing his Wonder Man movie, which was the movie he was working on during the season, and Trevor taking the fall for Simon's outburst. So the last chunk of episode 9 was dedicated to Simon breaking Trevor out of jail using the only superpower that he knows how to: acting. After that, I imagine that season 2 would pick up with him and Trevor being on the run. Simon could get through with not being hunted by the DRDC. Maybe there's a deal to be struck out. Maybe Simon could be acting in a different movie, or he could be helping Trevor, but Trevor outright cannot be leaving whatever place they find themselves in because he's a known criminal. Even if the DRDC isn't going after them yet, obviously Trevor is a known criminal to the public. He can't be just walking down the street without getting a couple of weird looks. Showrunner Andrew Guest said that there were thought into what season 2 could have. So I'm kind of worried that season 2 will lose the scope of what season 1 had, with it being more out there. I know that season 1 was great because it was a self-contained story. It was very ground level, but I wonder that since the DRDC is hunting them, it's going to be a lot more harder for them to do like a self-contained story without bringing in a different character or two. I hope that Doorman comes back because that was a real fun character, and hopefully Simon can meet him and get Josh Gad out of that prison that he found himself in. I hope that we get a couple more celebrity cameos in them playing themselves, because I think that was a lot of fun seeing Josh Gad just be himself in the first season, and I hope that they can do it again. I wonder what could happen to Simon and Trevor. Obviously, I hope that they keep the buddy dynamic between them and don't split them up through the season, because a lot of what made season 1 special was their dynamic, because it held the series together a lot. It added some tension between them. Obviously, Trevor taking the fall for Simon. Simon didn't hate him after he found out, but he kind of questioned their friendship. But I really hope that season 2 could pick up with them doing something a bit more unique. But like I said, I wonder if the doing a movie and TV shows is going to be losing what was so special about season 1, whether season 2 could just outright confuse the narrative in a lot of different ways, that it gets to a point where I think the show lost sight of what it was meant to be. I hope that he doesn't become a superhero. I hope he just uses his powers every now and again, but he doesn't become a crime fighting superhero. He could do a Daredevil and fight crime during the night, but I really don't know if he has the control over his powers yet to do that. But like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, all that, I hope that Wonder Man can start a springboard for what could be a new Marvel television universe, obviously in the same universe as the MCU, like the original Netflix shows. They could keep it grounded like the first couple of shows were. Daredevil can be a part of this group, Echo could be a part of this, Hawkeye, all that sort of stuff. Create kind of West Coast Avengers type of scenario where we get to see Wonder Man and a couple of other TV show characters have their own self-contained stories that are more grounded. But I think considering that Marvel Television has put out a couple of really good hits recently, I hope that this means that this could be a new universe that they're starting, and hopefully in the future they can continue with these more self-contained grounded stories like Daredevil, like Wonder Man. It would be really fun, and I hope that's what the future holds for Marvel, along with doing more out there movies. But that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see anything about Wonder Man, please comment down below if there's a certain video. I have a video in the works, but that might not come out for a little while. I want to ask a question, and you guys can comment this down below. What was your favorite part of Wonder Man? And as always, this is Movie Nerd signing off.